Good guys, it's Batman, and we're doing a reaction here today. We're getting some NC Hammer content going. What's it called? He's done a lot of videos. Let's be real, but I'm just doing this based upon my watch later list. So these could be like obviously old videos and whatnot. Like, you can see in the fucking video, it's 2 years old. So, but we're gonna be getting things cracking lacking from here, and things gonna be lit. We're getting a couple reactions going. We're gonna check out a certain amount of people. We're also gonna be doing the co-host stream. In a bit actually, so that's gonna be coming up. We will come back to the reactions later, but we're gonna do as much as we can for the time being. So just FYI, but the co-host stream is going to be going down as well. So yeah, just want to kind of put that out there for you guys, and make sure I got my mic good to go. All right, everything's good. Ta-da! So this way we sound loud and clear and shit. But all right, everything's good. Let's start the video. Let's get it. And yeah, let's do it. Oh, and as you guys can see in the title of the video, it's Naruto's best fights ranked and explained. Now I'm gonna be real with you guys. This is blatantly subjective territory. You know what I mean? Like, you can't really have any objectivity with this, or really pinpoint what is actually considered the best or not. And honestly, I feel like there's a lot of variables in this too, right? You know what I mean? So it really just depends. Now, if we're doing it based upon like the most popular fights, right? Like, and things like that, I feel like that's a lot more easier to like digress and really, figure out, and so on and so forth. Like, if we're appealing to the majority, right? Like, if we're counting the majority as a whole to what everyone normally considers the best fights, hands down, right? Then you should be able to be a lot more straightforward with this process. Now, if it's for what it obviously means to you, and for whatever those reasons are, because again, there's variables, right? Then that's a whole other can of worms. You know what I mean? Like, the list can be completely fucking different, So you guys let me know what you think, in the comments down below, what you guys, like, your favorite fights are. Out of all the Naruto fights, there's so many fucking good fights, dude. And honestly, I think that, like, it's just, I think it becomes even more impossible to really rank and decide what's the best fights, hands down, unless you literally organize it. You know what I mean? Like, so you have to have part one, right, only for itself, and then have Shippuden. You know what I mean? Like, and if you really want to make it even more fair, that, like, even separate it by arcs too. But if we're just gonna make it as simple as possible and not even go to those directions, like, I'll just say for part one. I'm not gonna say as a whole. For part one, obviously Naruto versus Sasuke, right? The Final Valley. I don't think anybody's gonna disagree with that. That's has to, at least for me, be in top three. Second, and this is in no order, by the way. I'm just saying, that comes in my head. For the second would be Rock Lee versus Gaara. I thought hands down that was one of the most incredible fights ever that we've seen. Such a fucking good fight. Just really, really good. You know what I mean? And so that was very done well. The third one, if I had to go, in all honesty, I'd probably say Orochimaru versus Hiruzen. I think that was really good as well. Really fucking just peak shit right there. You know what I mean? And that's my top three right there. You know what I mean? Like, if I'm just trying to keep things as simple as possible. And mind you, like, this is really hard. Like, this is really fucking hard, There's just so many good fights. But if I were to, like, add two more, let's say for, like, top five for me, obviously got to throw in Kakashi and Zabuza, right? Like, that, you just got to. You know what I mean? Like, you got to. Like... That's a peak ass, fight. That's where it all starts. The traditional, just hand to hand combat, badass, peak Joning type shit. It was just amazing. And then for the fifth place, what would that be? This is really hard for the fifth place one for me. It's really, really hard because I could pick a lot of fights. But if I had to pick out of all, if I had a gun in my head, and this is really hard, mind you, I'd probably say it's between Gaara and Kimamaru, or Naruto versus Gaara. Because I'm sorry, with that Shikaku transformation and then summoning Gambunsa and all that, that was insane. That was some peak fucking shit right there. You know what I mean? Like, we that's when we started getting layers upon layers of scaling and type shit. Like, when things just got crazy and whatnot. So But yeah, that's my top 5 right there for just part 1. And mind you, I could say like my next 5, you know, to have a top 10 list. You know, I'll do that at the end of the video, right? I'll do the top 10 for part 1. You know, and then I won't go too crazy on Shippuden, but I'll say that my top 3 or top 5 for that, right? I'm assuming for this video though, he's counting everything as a whole, you know. So we'll see. But like, this is gonna be a really good video to watch. I'm just gonna put that way. This is gonna be a really good video to watch and really enjoy with NC Hammer, because no matter what, again, this is subjective territory, and this is where, you know, it's just really good. Like, I highly doubt he's gonna say some crazy fodder ass fight that he's like repping, right? You know, so. But let's get it.
Naruto for the narrative plot devices and, you know, the very scantily drawn women, but also, more than anything, the fights. And while I watch anime for the lore more than anything, it doesn't mean I can't...
almost forgot. Another thing too, when I was saying variables for the fights, whatever, it's like if we're just saying like just raw badass fighting, you know what I mean, like hand to hand, or just the fight itself, right? It's just so fucking good, you know what I mean? Then I feel like that's a category of variable, right? Then you have the other variable for the writing of the fight, right? Like the meaning of the fight, what it means, what it's personifying, the emphasis, you know, how deep it goes into why the fight is so significant or just a really big deal emotionally, and so on and so forth. I feel like that's another variable and category that's completely, you know, separate. And then the third one would just be like, I guess as a whole, everything, right? Combined, you know what I mean? So writing and just how good the fight is, you know? And obviously that would always take number like the priority, because if it has a mixture of both, it's just peak all around. Like that should definitely be there first, right? That's why I feel like to this day, Naruto versus Sasuke in the Final Valley and Rock Lee versus Gaara, because not only the writing and how good the fighting was, like that's why like it's just completely peak all around, right? You know? So, and if it's within those parameters, that's where I think that should be the priority, at least, you know, for me. I feel like a lot of people would agree with that too, but yeah, but again, it just depends on the variables, you know what I mean? So that's really all it is. But and then that's another variable I forgot. The last variable is like a one-sided SmackDown fight, right? Like the most insane aura flexing powerhouse type, you know, variables. Like I'll give an example: Itachi against a Jonin, you know, when he first appears, or you have Orochimaru against, you know, Team 7, you know what I mean? Or if you have Madara, you know what I mean, pulling up to the Shinobi Alliance and just dogging it. I feel like obviously Madara would probably definitely be better than the 2 I just said before, but you know what I mean? So I feel like those are the 4 variables mainly. It's like the first one's just complete badass, right? Just fighting, and it's just mainly fighting, right? Second one, writing, right? You know, with the fighting. Third, if it has both and it's just good all around, right? And it's just perfect, meaning like it's not just strictly this or strictly that, right? And the fourth would be just a one-sided aura beating your fucking ass SmackDown. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, that's all I'm gonna get at. But anyway, let's get to the video now. But that's the general consensus for all I would say for this reaction. And let's check out what he has to say.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy an incredible fight when I see one. And never being entirely...
Oh shit, Naruto Explains in this. Shout out to Naruto Explain, guys. If you don't know who he is, I'll show him at the end of the video. Obviously, I'll put him in the link in the description down below, but he's also goated. I just realized he's in this vid.
Real with ourselves, there's no way to argue that Naruto does not have the best fights in the entirety of the big 3. Though a couple of the fights in 1000 Year Blood War arc have been...
Oh, and also, let me know, guys, last pause, and then we're gonna let it go for a bit. Let me know if you want me to do a tier list of like the best fights. I'm probably gonna do that with Jay. It will either be with Jay the Great, you know, or be with Ken Rock. One of the two we'll see depending on availability and whatnot. But let me know if you guys want that. I could always do like ranking the fights. You know what I mean? If you strictly just want me, then I'll do it. But if you want like also Jay a part of it as well, or Ken or whatever, so on and so forth, let me know. You know, I'll be down to do that too. You know, I could always do a tier list. You know.
Very good. Well, you know it's not One Piece. But the problem with the show Back to the Gills with incredible fights is one can't help but wonder, what are the best fights? What are the fights that every couple of months you go onto YouTube and rewatch them all over again? What are the fights that meant so much to the plot of the story that if they were removed, the entire story would be different? What are the fights that we simply couldn't have lived without? What are the fights that made Naruto? Well, today, I hope to answer that question. But the thing is, it's not just me today. No, because when you're talking something as important as the greatest fights in Naruto history, well, then you gotta bring somebody else in to fact check you, of course. So fact checking me today is none other than the
I love
legendary
it. I love the
Naruto
glaze
Explained.
W.
See, me and Naruto Explained have been in the lab, bouncing ideas off each other, trying to figure out what are the most important.
And honestly, that's a fucking W point he just made, though. Shout out to NC Hammer as well, guys. But what he just said is a W, because let's be real. Yeah, I agree with that. If you're gonna do a concept as crazy as this, or just incredible, you know what I mean? Like, bro, you got to bring another goated person, right? Or another big boy, right? So yeah, who other than Naruto Explained, right? Which is within the same, you know, YouTube scaling parameters around that time. The only other thing he could really do would be like Swag, but Swag is way bigger than those two. You know what I mean? Like he's at the million mark. You know, he's like, you know, like there's tiers to this shit. So honestly, that's a perfect YouTuber to bring along. Like they're within the same YouTuber scaling, you know, and whatnot, and it's just perfect.
Influential and rewatchable fights in all of Naruto. And while we could just sit here and tell you which fights we loved the most in a list and make this video 2.5 minutes, well, we both have a flair for the dramatic. So today, on top of telling you our favorite fights, we're also going to be explaining why these fights meant so much to the Naruto timeline. Why, without these fights, Naruto wouldn't have been close to as popular as it is now. And more importantly than anything, why some of these fights are better than others. Hi, this is Nick from the future. He just finished filming this video and he realized that he's saying Naruto's fights. And that's gonna make you think that it's just fights within the show of Naruto, but I'm talking Naruto's fights. Fights that Naruto is included.
Let's do it. I'm gonna finish this reaction, and then I'm gonna take a break from reactions because I've been talking for a good while.
This video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. And since we're talking about other YouTube pages, you guys should go ahead and follow my other YouTube page, The Weeb Commander, where instead of talking about Naruto, I talk about any other anime. You should also go follow my brand new anime podcast, Otaku's Anonymous, where me and Danny Mata break down everything that happened in anime this week, including things that could happen in Naruto. And more than anything, guys, make sure you follow Naruto Explained as well, because, well, I'll let him tell you what video I'm appearing in on his page here very soon.
First and foremost, I really got to thank NC Hammer for having me over here on this channel. Really appreciate that, brother. While we're only talking about Naruto's best fights over on my channel, NC Hammer and myself are going to be going over Sasuke's best fights. And based off the chat that we've had privately, I know we got a banger list that you guys are going to be enjoying.
So the way that we're doing today's video is a top 5. Chatting the top 5 most influential, rewatchable, and important battles throughout Naruto's timeline. However, today's video will not be including fights from movies or Boruto. I know, both Toneri and Momoshiki and Ishiki, fantastic fights. I'm gonna be handling fights 5, 3, and 1, and Naruto Explained is gonna be handling fights 2 and 4. So now that we got the rules out of the way, let's get cracking into this list. Coming in at number 5, we have a fight that I wouldn't even blame you if you put it number 1, because somehow at the bottom of this list, we have Naruto versus Gaara. And the fact that Naruto versus Gaara is at the bottom of this list should show you just how many incredibly important and gorgeous and rewatchable fights there is in Naruto. Naruto's fight against Gaara is the accumulation.
Honestly, I can't even put him down for that. It's a great one. At least it's on the list. You know what I mean? It's a great one, dude. It's a great one.
Of everything that happened during the Konoha Crush arc. Slowly but surely the narrative.
No, I will say this. For it to be at the bottom of out of everything, if that's what this is, everything, that's a little crazy, though.
Towards Gaara being revealed as the big bad. It was an untouchable force in the Forest of Death, shattering the long-standing record set by Itachi for completion time, which he probably would have beat even faster if he hadn't been slowed down by a team from the Hidden Rain that he kills mercilessly. And then there's his battle against Rock Lee, where Rock Lee opens to the 4th or the 5th gate and speeds up to supersonic speeds to overcome the power of Gaara's ultimate defense, sand. However, Gaara's power is too much for Rock Lee, and Rock Lee gets caught in Gaara's sand, where Gaara is able to use his sand burial to shatter Rock Lee's arm and leg, to the point where Rock Lee has to undergo life-threatening surgery to possibly be able to ever fight again. And then there's Gaara's battle against Sasuke in the final rounds of the Chunin exam, where Sasuke uses the Chidori for the first time to strike into Gaara's sand and manages to cut him. We're then served.
What are we talking about? We're talking about the Naruto and Gaara fight, right? Like what?
One of the most.
This is what I'm talking about. Like I love NC, but he's a yap guy, man. He just be talking about a bunch of shit.
Iconic voice.
That has nothing to do with the initial claim.
Experiences of all time with Gaara yelling, "It's blood! My blood!" I couldn't do it service if I tried. And finally, Gaara starts off the Konoha Crush but accidentally, using a partial manifestation of Shukaku to start wreaking havoc. And Sasuke continues his battle against Gaara as it spills into the woods next to Konoha, where both Sasuke and Sakura are defeated. It isn't until Naruto arrives on the scene that we truly get the most important part of this fight. See, as Sasuke is slowly but surely being strangled against a tree by part of Shukaku, Naruto enters into combat against an already partially transformed Gaara, pushing Gaara in this partial transformation to his limits, as Naruto used everything in his arsenal thus far to battle against Gaara. And this was pre-Rasengan. Naruto was simply battling against Gaara with multi-shadow clones and a couple of kunai. However, the fight reaches its true peak in intensity when Gaara undergoes our first ever full transformation. You see, prior to this moment, we had never seen a Jinchuriki undergo a full transformation. We were given our first ever taste of the overwhelming power that a Jinchuriki can wield. But Gaara wasn't wielding this power. This power was being wielded through Gaara as a conduit, but in reality, it was Shukaku raging right next to Konoha. And thus Naruto, when pushed into a corner, is able to use his Toad summon to summon Gamabunta. And it's at this point that we see basically our first ever mech battle in Naruto, as this giant toad in Gamabunta with a pipe and a blade starts to cut off parts of Shukaku. Oh, by the way, earlier I lied. It wasn't Sasuke getting pushed against the tree with the sand, it was Sakura. Doesn't really matter in this fight, neither of them really did anything anyways. But as these two giants battled in the forest, you could see the trees were only to their...
All right, so I'm gonna say this real quick. Like, you see how he's like saying, "Oh my god, it's so good," blah blah, all this stuff, whatever, yeah. Like, that's why it shouldn't be this low. It should be way higher, if anything, right? Like, so I don't know, bro. Like, it's like, unless I missed it, I didn't hear like the overall context or atmosphere of how he's gonna be doing the rankings. But again, like, is it out of everything? Like, is it, you know, like, if it's from the bottom, is that the best or the worst? Like, I didn't catch that. I'm not gonna go back, but you guys let me know in the comments down below. But regardless, like, you know, because the only thing I heard was like he's doing certain parts and explains doing the other. That's all I really heard. And the title says Naruto's best fights ranked and explained. So there's not really that much to work with. You know what I mean? Like,
ankle level. Both Naruto and Gaara a barely visible
but I'm not gonna be able to fully like give judgment until I hear it out more and see everything he's really presenting for the most part. So for now, I'll just take a chill pill. Once eventually he's done and then it goes to explain, then I'm gonna respond, because at that point I'll be able to have more you know, analysis of what is occurring, what's going on. So
sitting on the respective foreheads of the mechs they were controlling. And as Gamabunta launches a final attack against Shukaku, he tells Naruto to use transformation jutsu on both of them. Gamabunta simply asking that whatever he turns them into has claws and fangs. And thus, as we see Naruto begin to get covered in his orange chakra, he uses transformation jutsu and turns Gamabunta into Kurama, giving us our first real glimpse of Kurama in battle. And after Gamabunta is able to get his hands on Shukaku, Naruto headbutts Gaara out of his coma and breaks the full possession of Shukaku. Outside of just being one of the most iconic fights in Naruto, this fight narratively is arguably one of the most important in Naruto's whole history. While we had seen Naruto use Takano Jutsu on the likes of Zabuza and Haku already, Gaara is genuinely the first person Naruto was ever able to save. Naruto saw himself when he was battling against Gaara. He saw a boy who had a demon also sealed inside of him at a young age. A boy who had to grow up alone because everybody in his village was afraid of him. A boy who, unlike Naruto, hadn't been lucky enough to have been surrounded by friends who actually accepted him. In Gaara, Naruto saw what he could have been, and thus Naruto...
He's spitting facts right now. Spitting absolute facts right now. That's why it's such an incredible fucking fight. There's a lot of narrative writing emphasis on it, and the fight itself is just incredible. It's a combination of both variables, which is why, again, like, if he's doing this as from like being from the worst to the best, that's kind of an issue with me, because this should not be at the bottom. This should be way more higher.
Reached out a hand to Gaara after their battle and decided to become Gaara's first friend, because Naruto understood that Gaara got this way because of the lack of friends that he had. Gaara wouldn't have gone on to help Rock Lee in the battle against Kimimaro, which means Rock Lee would have died. Gaara wouldn't have gone on to become the Kazekage because he would have continued down the path of trying to become the ultimate weapon. Gaara wouldn't have been elected as one of the leaders of the Fourth Great Shinobi World War and given his iconic speech to 80,000 shinobi. This fight opened the door to us fully understanding what Naruto was about, as Gaara was the first person in Naruto's entire history to truly break out of the the fate that was set out for him when he was born. As Gaara was born to be the ultimate weapon, but in this moment, he broke out of that mold and just the regular guy he wanted to be. Gaara broke out of isolation and found friends and became a leader. Gaara, though his journey started substantially later than Naruto, finished it much earlier than him, as he went to replace his father Rasa, who had been killed prior to the Konoha Crush arc by Orochimaru as the youngest ever Kazekage. Gaara would then go on in the early episodes of Naruto Shippuden to protect the entire Hidden Sand Village against a bomb dropped by Deidara. So yes, this battle was incredible because the fight was really cool. We got to see Shukaku and Kurama for really the first time, and Naruto unironically uses 1,000 Years of Death against a partially transformed Shukaku state Gaara. But the reason that this fight resides in the top 5 is 1, because it allowed Sasuke to realize that Naruto was catching up with him in power, and 2, because it brought Gaara into the fold. Since we're talking about Sasuke realizing that the gap between his and Naruto's power was very slowly but surely closing, our fight at number 4 could not be more perfectly placed. But I'll let Naruto explain, do what he does best, and explain that one for you.
Okay, so coming in at number 4, we got Naruto versus Sasuke in part 1, and this fight isn't just one of the best Naruto Uzumaki fights, but for me, it's one of the best fights in the entire series because it perfectly shows you how in a battle shonen, the battle itself can be used to develop characters, especially.
Okay, so I think they're doing their top 5 ranking right now because they said 5 and then now they're saying 4. So okay, I said if that's the case, then okay, this is good then. Yeah, I fuck with it. I absolutely agree then.
Especially when you start mixing in all the chilling emotion that the manga gives to us at the end of Naruto Volume 24, where Naruto, after briefly losing himself in that fight against Kimimaro, is shown screaming at Sasuke, and the two of them are standing on the statues of Hashirama and Madara, and the very last panel you see in that volume is Sasuke's face literally shaded out with his eyes not being shown. It was a clear sign that over the next 2 volumes, we weren't just going to see Naruto give his all to prevent his friend from going to Orochimaru, who wanted to acquire Sasuke's body, but it was also Naruto trying to save the soul of his friend. And that one panel by Kishimoto showed us just how much of a conflicted soul that Sasuke truly was. The Sasuke who Naruto had bonded with like a brother had changed following the fight with Gaara. That skirmish on the rooftop where you saw further proof of that huge gap between himself and Naruto, and the Sound 4 making Sasuke realize his own weakness. And in hindsight, we as the audience know that in the back of Sasuke's mind, he was thinking about Itachi's instructions to kill his best friend to acquire the Mangekyo Sharingan. Between this and Naruto's own memories of his time with Sasuke and Sakura begging Naruto to bring Sasuke back, it makes that moment where Naruto starts wailing on Sasuke really hit home, because it's our first sign of what Sasuke would later go on to say, that when 2 high-level shinobi exchange blows, they can communicate with each other. Naruto was punching Sasuke like crazy, but Sasuke's lifeless eyes looking back at Naruto was a sign that Naruto's words, they weren't reaching Sasuke's soul, and that's what we're really going to see throughout the narrative of the fight itself. The resulting battle, where we see Sasuke's curse mark give him power to send Naruto flying across the battlefield, ultimately leads us to the flashbacks where Sasuke goes from looking down at one brother who's sinking beneath the water to thinking back to the older brother from 5 years ago in the past. The use of a flashback at this part of the manga sets the stage to allow us as readers to fully understand Sasuke's motives and why he hates his brother so much, why Sasuke is the way that he is, and it also continues to build on that enigma of Itachi Uchiha, as we see Itachi growing more distant towards Sasuke in the manga in the flashback, and ultimately we see the Uchiha massacre that forever changed Sasuke's life. The way that Kishimoto ends a flashback by having Sasuke sink down into the water while Naruto's also emerging from the water is
doing a great job spitting absolute facts, and honestly he's even telling me certain elements of the fight that I completely just forgot too. But yeah, it's incredible. Like with the water thing where Sasuke's sinking down, Naruto's coming up, and then all that, just everything about it narratively and just all the figurative elements of it. It's an incredible fucking job. Like the writing was absolutely insane. And the main concept of it was like of Naruto trying to save Sasuke, you know what I mean, and stop him from going down the path of darkness. Because if he does, then Orochimaru's gonna get his body, yada yada, right? Like there's a lot on the line, you know, it's crazy, and then Sasuke's like conflicted whether or not if he should kill him, you know, for the MS or whatnot, or if he shouldn't and not follow Itachi's footsteps and things like that, and so on and so forth, you know. So like at the end of the day, like it's an incredible fight. It's beautiful narratively for the writing. The fight itself is insane. Like you get like base Naruto and Sasuke going all at it. You see the epic, you know, Shidori Rasengan clash, you know, And then things get more dire, more crazy because you think Naruto's about to die. He goes QB. Now we see QB Naruto fighting Sasuke. Like, it's just crazy, man. Like, and it just goes from there. And like Naruto's dominating. And even after Naruto won, like, he pins like Sasuke to the wall, you know, and he's like, you know, if you don't snap it or whatever, I'm gonna break all your bones, yada yada yada. And that's when Sasuke has like that famous line. He's like, you know, he's like, what do you know about it, huh? You were alone from the start, etc. There's no way you could understand what I'm going through, blah blah, right? You know, like, and they just have like that heart to heart moment. They're talking and shit, you know, and Naruto's like, you're my brother, man, like I love you and shit, you know, and then Sasuke's like, I get it, but I'm sorry, I gotta do what I gotta do. And that's when he unlocks his third Tomo, right? You know. And it just gets more crazy from there, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's just so good. Like, now his precog's higher, and he's actually, now he's dominating Naruto, and he's responding and everything. And it just gets more and more and more crazy, dude. Like, he finally acknowledges Naruto as an equal, you know what I mean? But he still tells him, you can't touch my headband and stuff, you know? There's just so much with it. Like, it's just like, the acknowledgement from Sasuke, them both understanding each other, the pain they've both been through, you know what I mean? Like, they're as strong as they are because of what they've been through, you know? There's just layers upon layers of how incredible and beautiful the fight is, right? You know? And then it just gets more crazy. Like, especially the anime. The anime was amazing. Way better than the manga, in my opinion. But, you know, but it's just so fucking good. And then when it gets even more crazy to where Sasuke, like, drops Naruto all the way from the mountain and slams his head on in his neck and head on the ground. Like, it was way more insane than what it was shown in the manga. That was crazy, right? You know, and then we see One Tail Naruto, and it's just so good, dude. I could go on and summarize it myself, you know, but I'm gonna save that for another day for like when I do the tier list and stuff. But just hands down a great fight. Like, it's really, really good. But he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all. So. Alright guys, let's get it. I turned off the face cam, for the rest of this reaction because I had some shenanigans going on, and currently in the background is preoccupied, so we're just going to continue this without the face cam. You guys bear, right? You don't need to see my ugly mug anyways. But let's get it, and let's continue the reaction. Let's do it.
Tormented and is filled with hatred. We see some really cool exchanges, like Sasuke literally pulling one of the most gangster moves ever, where he goes up to Naruto and he starts snatching weapons out of Naruto's bag.
I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty savage. That was pretty savage. Man, it took his fucking kunai, no way.
And you get that first Chidori versus Rasengan clash on top of the water, but the moment that Sasuke starts to increase his curse mark by spreading it across his face, you get this tormented expression in Naruto's eyes in the manga when he realizes that his best friend is actually trying to kill him. This is so heartbreaking. Naruto did everything he could to try and save Sasuke from Gaara, and he's trying to save him from Orochimaru. But it's this moment here where you can begin to start seeing Naruto begin to break, and it's while he's mentally nerfed that Sasuke starts to run the curse mark Amp Chidori right through his chest. But whereas Naruto had been previously nerfed, the Nine Tails influence kicks in just before Sasuke delivers what should have been a killing blow. At this point, we see the gloves come off completely in the manga. Sasuke sees Kurama.
Hey, let's be real, guys. Let's be real. At this moment, he knew he fucked up. Like, bro, I would never forget that moment in the anime. The music where it's like, din, din, din. You know what I mean? Like, bro, just insane moment here, bro. Like, you fucking knew Sasuke's about to get his ass beat.
Chakra, and Naruto just goes into beast mode at one point. You get this super cool scene where he's screaming so loud.
Okay, is it the video or is that me?
That Sasuke's fire release is just erased by the shout.
I think that's me.
It leads to Kishimoto again.
Yeah, that's me. I don't know if that's coming through for you guys either, so, and I don't like that. So we're just going to restart this real quick. That's a no-no for audio-wise. Like, I don't know why my Xbox does that shit. Like, it low-key pisses me off. This is why I always do reactions on my goddamn PC. Because the consoles be fucking tripping, dude. They be fucking tripping. Like, what the fuck? And I have no idea if you guys are hearing what I'm hearing. So probably not. I would hope not. But it was, like, really, like, robotic-y and static-y and shit. So, you know. Yeah, that was a no-no. But we're going to get this through. We're going to play the catch-up game real quick. Bam, bada, boom. And we're going to bring this back like the white fucking Vans.
Again, using the narrative as a way to add weight to the battle so their characters can be developed. Because after Sasuke tells Naruto that someone who has never known bonds can't understand his pain, we see Sasuke's Sharingan evolve and the battle hits into another gear with Sasuke using the Sharingan Eye of Insight to predict Naruto's moves and counter the moves that he's seeing. And then we see Naruto up the ante even more by using Kurama's chakra, going into that one-tailed form, and what little advantage that Sasuke had is completely gone at this point. Naruto is just tanking his fire release in the manga, and you get this beautiful shot where you see the fire release spreading across Naruto's body. There's a circular appearance for it, and you see Naruto just staring back through the fire, looking at Sasuke like, is this all you've got? I love that.
Yeah, no, that shit was crazy. That was a flex.
One panel right there. That's one of my favorite panels in the entire series. So essentially, after this, we see Naruto start using his chakra arms. He's trying to snatch Sasuke. We're seeing the further that Naruto goes into his desperation, the wackier the battle's getting, because it reflects both shinobi digging deeper into their souls as we move closer to the climax, with Sasuke in his full curse mark state, and you have Naruto with that one tail, and they're going into that iconic Chidori versus Rasengan clash that is so huge that Kakashi can see what's going on from the distance. But the beauty of this fight comes in the way that it ends, and that's actually why I really feel like it's a top 10 Naruto fight for the entire franchise. Naruto,
I agree. It has to be top 10.
He
it has to be,
on
man.
Scratching Sasuke's headband to prove Sasuke wrong that he couldn't do so. Sasuke, when he jabs at Naruto, the fingers go from being extended to being curled in to avoid an assassination jab, showing that both of these kids, when they were in the deepest parts of their soul, they've now begun to walk different paths. One is seeking to be acknowledged, and the other is making a conscious decision to seek power in a way that didn't require him killing his best friend. The raw emotion from the fight and the implications it would have for the entire series makes it one of the best fights in the franchise.
Absolutely, and it sets like a huge fucking cliffhanger and like a huge expectation for the next part of the series. You know, it was some very high expectations and standards that basically set right there and then, and just everything, the theme of it, especially if you watch the anime and not just only the manga or read only the manga, like, you know, the music playing at that time where it's like that sad piano music, you know, like just everything about it is just incredible. Just hands down an absolutely beautiful fight, hands down. Definitely has to be top 10. There's no way you don't have it in top 10.
Fight to this day still makes me angry. Naruto very easily could have just summoned Gamabunta again. It's not like he wasn't already using his early version 1 Jin cloak.
Oh, but Nick, Sasuke had to get away for the plot to move forward.
Yeah, like, I'm not gonna deny that you're right. You absolutely are. It's just aggravating. Also, imagine Sasuke's like,
Oh, I got this new curse mark, I'm gonna leave the village.
and then he just gets stomped by a toad. That would have been hilarious. But since we're talking about the fights in the early days of Naruto, I want to take us all the way back to arguably the first big important battle in all of Naruto.
Say it.
That's right, because coming in at number 3, we
What
have
I
Team
thought.
7 in the Land of Waves.
It's a good fight, though, yeah.
Zabuza and Haku. I would happily put this fight at number 1, but I know if I did, people would yell at me. This fight is absolutely...
It's not number 1. It's great, but it's definitely not number 1. Yeah, what the fuck? Like, I'll say this, like, to bring up the Haku, like, against, like, Team 7, like, as if you want to say that as a fight overall, you know, either that or Kakashi versus Zabuza is, like, always going to be in someone's top 10, right? Like, it is insane and a really good fight, and it set the bar for everything, future reference-wise, you know what I mean? But to say it's number 1, yeah, that's a little bit crazy, man.
Iconic. It was the pace setter for the rest of Naruto.
True,
I would
true.
argue if this fight wasn't as good as it was, the rest of Naruto may have never gotten made. This fight showed us what Naruto as a franchise was capable of, with a menacing, cool, and intimidating antagonist in Zabuza with a devastating backstory. Even with nostalgia removed, this fight is perfect to me. The fight opening with Zabuza hurling the Executioner Sword at all of Team 7, the Executioner Sword, the first Buster Sword we've seen in Naruto, the introduction of the Hidden Mists in the 7 Swordsmen of the Mist, the first time we see Kakashi use his Sharingan, Zabuza using the Hidden Mist Jutsu and appearing behind Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura, Naruto having a panic attack but remembering the time he stabbed himself in the hand to calm himself down and swearing that he would never be scared again. And more important than arguably anything else, Kakashi watching Zabuza do the hand signs for Water Dragon Jutsu and just copying them for the first time ever. For the first time, giving us true perspective into Kakashi Kakashi's real power, literally being able to outwater ninjutsu Zabuza, one of the 7 swordsmen of the mist. And that's only the first time they fight. The second time they fight, Haku gets entered into the mix, and he uses his ice mirror to fill Sasuke with Senbon while Sasuke's protecting Naruto. And don't even get me started on Haku's death, because what we don't realize until later on, that Haku's death is exactly the same as Rin's death, and what Kakashi must have gone through after once again accidentally killing a child who stepped in front of his Chidori trying to protect Zabuza. Zabuza coming to the realization that Haku loved him and having to deal with the loss of Haku. And then Zabuza, well, filled with weapons, going on a 1v100 against all of the thugs in the land of Wade.
I'm not gonna lie, you know what the title of this video should have been? It should have been NC Hammer and Naruto explain glazing Naruto fights. But rightfully so, you know what I mean? Like, come on, you can't put them down for it. Like, they're spitting, you know what I mean? They're talking about incredible, just amazing fucking fights in Naruto, you know what I mean? But, you know, like, again, like, within this fight, like, I'm not gonna say too much and go too crazy, because I am gonna be doing a video with Jay the Great on doing a ranking all Naruto's best fights, you know what I mean, whatnot. Whether if we do only part 1 first and then Shippuden, or if we do all of it as a whole, we'll see. I have to talk with him a little bit more on that, but that is planned for us to eventually rank Naruto fights and so on and so forth. I think that'd be really cool. You know, so yeah, so definitely stay tuned for that, and that'll be a pretty cool thing to do. I'm not sure what channel I'm gonna put it on. I'll probably put it for both of my channels. You know what I mean? But we'll see which one I'll do. You know what I mean? And go from there. What I'll probably do is just post it on like my Naruto channel. And then I'll eventually post it on what's it called, on my main channel. Well, we'll see how I go about it. But that's if it's a video. If it's not a video, then it's just gonna be a stream. But you know, but yeah. Anyways, but you know, like again, like this whole battle, like it just everything's incredible. Just all of it with Kakashi and Zabuza, Haku against Team 7. It's just incredible, and just like the theme behind it. There's so much figurative meanings behind it, like the deep emphasis of it, just how beautiful and figuratively it was, like, just portrayed, you know what I mean? Like the writing, how badass, just everything completely, absolutely set the bar for the rest of the entirety of Naruto, you know? So just an incredible job.
In dying next to Haku, I mean, I still cry every time I watch it. While this fight narratively probably didn't mean
oh yeah, no, I'm gonna be real with you guys, bro. Come on, if you don't cry during that fucking arc, bro, you're inhuman. You're a fucking robot. I don't give a fuck. That was some sad shit, especially if you're watching the anime, you know, with the music and shit. You know, like if you're reading the manga, I can understand you maybe not crying because the manga is the manga. At the end of the day, you can't really feel it to that same extent, you know, with the audio effects and everything, visual, whatever. But nah, anime, come on, there's no way, bro. There's no way, man, you know? Like,
the other fights on this list is really all that we got from it was that Sasuke does actually respect Naruto a little bit. Obviously, the iconic scene of Naruto acting as the Demon Wind Shuriken and appearing behind Zabuza, which would get used several times throughout the duration of Naruto as a plan between Naruto and Sasuke. And the true understanding that Kakashi is an unrequited badass. The real reason that this entry is this high on the list is because, like I stated earlier, without this battle, we may have not even seen the end of Naruto. And I mean from both a manga and an anime perspective. The incredibly touching story of Zabuza, an outcast from the Hidden Mist who fled because he didn't agree with the politics of the nation, taking in an orphan boy whose clan had been destroyed because of their Kekkei Genkai, and traveling the world as bounty hunters slash bandits, dying side by side next to each other after realizing that they were all each other had in the world, set the pace for Naruto not only having some of the most interesting to watch fights, but also interesting to learn about fights. As within this battle, we learned about the discrimination.
Yeah, no, narratively and just action-wise, guys, it was just absolutely hands down incredible. Facts.
That Kekkei Genkai users receive all across the world. We learned about the Blood Mist Village and its cruel practices.
Oh yeah.
Zabuza, who was once hailed as the demon of the mist.
Yeah, the Mist Village? Bro, the Mist Village, they were no fucking joke with how dark they got their shit going, man. That was some fucking crazy shit, bro. Like, some crazy shit.
His entire graduating class.
You wonder why Zabuza left.
It's also, I believe, the first time that we see Naruto's orange chakra start to leak out after Haku fills both him and Sasuke with Senbon. It was the first real peek behind the curtain that we got into Naruto's possible power. And of all of the fights in Naruto, it has my favorite ending. Maybe it is nostalgia because I watched this fight on Adult Swim at 10 p.m. as an 8 or 9 year old. But even if it is nostalgia, this fight is incredible. Speaking of fights where the bad guy dies at the end, coming up next at number 2, Naruto explains got a big one for you?
So
A little off topic, but I'm not gonna lie, that Stormtrooper helmet is fucking lit. That shit looks peak. I see you with the Star Wars, man.
well, here's the thing. You cannot have a top 5 Naruto fights without having Naruto versus Pain on the list. I don't care who you are, it's mandatory. Between Naruto's entrance with all those toads and you got the Sage Cloak just...
No, he's actually spinning there. I don't give a fuck. I'm sorry, guys, but see, for me, Pain, assault on Konoha, like, I count that really ultimately as a whole. Now, if you're being, more picky, then you want to separate into tiers of fights, you know what I mean? Then that's a different story, right? Then, but if we're kind of as a whole, has to be hands down in top 3. You know what I mean? But to be fair, that would be technically an arc, though, if we're doing as a whole. So, we are saying fights. So, yeah, if we're saying fights, honestly, for me, it's between Sagemo Naruto versus Pain or Kakashi versus Pain. Those two hit the most for me. But if I really, even though Kakashi is my favorite character, if I really had to give it, I would say Naruto for a fact, because just everything with the fight with Naruto against Pain, and then him going into the fucking, Six Tails and shit was just fucking insane. The narrative emphasis of it, the cycle of hatred, the speech Nagato gives to Naruto for once not being able to answer something or talk no jutsu or nothing, he's just lost for words. Naruto trying to figure out how to even confront or defeat the whole concept of the cycle of hatred and vengeance, and you name it, whatever, and pain, within the human and ninja world, like, just everything, dude, with it. It was just incredible. The whole concept of wanting vengeance and not even really wanting to understand why the other person did what they did or whatever, and all you see is just red, right? While that's basically proving Pain's point even further, that, like, no matter what, humans can just never understand one another, whether if it's religion, politics, money, vengeance, whatever the case may be, there's always just going to be this vicious cycle of hatred, right? And war and so on and so forth. And just all these crazy things and all the incredible quotes you have from the Pain arc, and shit. Just everything about it, man. The action, the power scaling, the crazy, jutsus and abilities Naruto has. Just, again, all the frogs appearing there. The fucking aura of Naruto just showing up with all the frogs, Mom, Paul, you know what I mean? Like, and just him standing there like a fucking boss, basically saying, "Daddy's home, bitch." Like, bro, I'm telling you, incredible. Just hands down, incredible fucking fight. And if it's not Sagemo versus Pain, then it has to be Kakashi, because that fucking fight was really fucking emotional. Not only was it badass, and you're just seeing, like, Kakashi being the badass he fucking is and doing the best he absolutely can against impossible odds. You know what I mean? Then we see his sacrifice in the end and everything that happens from there. And let's be real, I know damn motherfucking well nobody was expecting that, and everybody was crying at that point. I don't want to fucking hear it, man. Everybody, bro. So just said incredible, heads down, you know what I mean, and whatnot. And it was just great, right? It was just so fucking good. So, like, if I'm saying from an emotional standpoint, honestly, even though, like, Naruto's just as crazy and great as well, there's a way to kind of rep Kakashi in a sense, right? It was pretty freaking crazy and really sad in the end, but overall, like, I'm pretty sure we all would agree it's definitely Naruto versus Pain. And, just everything with it, with Minato showing up, just everything, man. So many feels, so many emotions, and then learning Nagato's whole fucking backstory and everything, and all the shit he went, bro. It's so good. It's so good.
Flapping like he's a DC comic superhero, or the way you had that super cool line where Naruto's boldly declaring that he's going to take out all the Pains with this Rasen Shuriken. This fight is just special. However, for me, it's special because of the emotional weight, and I'm going to get really personal with you guys here. This arc, when it was coming out, it was one of those moments where you remember exactly where you were when you first read the chapters or you first experienced in the anime. By this point, Pain was already super high on my list of characters who I hated purely because he ripped my heart out by first killing Jiraiya, but in his invasion before fighting Naruto, he had moments where I was emotionally broken more than once. Shizune getting her soul ripped out absolutely broke me because she was one of my favorite characters. Kakashi dying absolutely broke me to a point where when I finished the chapter, I set my phone down and I put my head on the table at work because I literally was crying seeing Kakashi, my favorite character at the time, give his life for Choji. Choji. And then the way that Tsunade just breaks the column in anger when she sees Kakashi is dead. So by the time that Naruto pulls up in Sage mode and has all those toes
bro, he's spitting. He's fucking spitting. Bro, I'm getting a little bit emotional right now, man, from how he's getting at it. Like, it's kind of hitting me in the feels right now, dude. Like, spitting, but facts. Like, bro, I'm telling you, bro, it doesn't matter how much time can pass or how many times I can watch it. I could watch the Pain arc, and I'm going to be crying every fucking time, dude. Because that shit is crazy. The emotional impact is insane, dude.
Where the Hidden Leaf Village used to be before Pain blew it up. To say I wanted Pain to well feel Pain, that's an absolute understatement. However, here's the thing about that fight. It's not just we readers who are emotionally on edge as the fight's going on. It's also Naruto. Throughout the fight, you start seeing the cracks in Naruto Uzumaki as a man that are leading to him being torn down to a point where he eventually almost breaks Kurama's seal.
Yeah.
It starts out with the quiet, confident rage where you see Naruto with that intensity in his eyes. He's just bodying the animal path summons in a way that Ninja Pita definitely does not approve of, especially when he throws that Rhino 90,000 feet into the air. He just yeets that thing, while the kaiju battles between the Rinnegan summonings and Naruto's Toad summons are...
I love how they say kaiju battle like this motherfucking shit is Godzilla.
beginning to heat up. You got Naruto channeling all that rage into his first Rasen Shuriken, where he says he's going to be ending the fight in one shot, and it's the first time in a battle setting where we see him use this jutsu and he's not just slamming it into somebody like a regular Rasengan. And to Naruto's credit, if Nagato had not been quick thinking, it would have done exactly what Naruto claimed. The attack just expands right before it detonates, and that range would have wiped out all the pains. Another thing this fight does is that it truly captures the heart of what makes Naruto fights so special and stand out so much in comparison to other shonen. The strategy element and the hidden move hidden behind the hidden move. You got Naruto using the chaos of the battle to isolate one of the pains by having one of the toes use a sandstorm to block the vision of the pains, while Naruto is literally inside a Gamabunta driving a double-fisted Rasengan into the animal path. You got Naruto lulling Pain into a false sense of security, because while Pain thinks that Naruto's Sage Mode has run out, unbeknownst to Pain, the scroll on Naruto's back actually allows one of the toes to reverse summon one of Naruto's clones that's been gathering Sage Chakra form, which allows Naruto to pop back into Sage Mode instantly, and he just shatters one of Pain's chakra rods, and he immediately starts retaking advantage of the fight. We see Naruto's quick thinking yet again when he adjusts to seeing the Preta Path absorb jutsu with the Rasen Shuriken being absorbed. Naruto makes Pain think that he's just going to make the same move all over again, but under the guise of a smoke bomb, Naruto launches a really brilliant multi-step attack, which is actually a callback to the Land of Waves itself. One of the clones transforms into the Rasen Shuriken, and the other Naruto is launching an attack from in the air with a double Rasengan, and after this is done, Naruto makes a move to try and eliminate all the pains. However, the Deva Path obviously uses the almighty push and gets them away. Even when all of this fails for Naruto, we see Naruto's wheels that continue to turn, and the best case example of this is how when the Preta Path is absorbing his Sage Chakra, Naruto sends him so much Sage Chakra that the dude just turns into a frog. However, for as clear-headed as Naruto was here, the iconic cycle of hatred speech is where things rapidly begin to start tearing down for Naruto. It's a brilliant deconstruction of Naruto's character in this one moment in order to get us to that iconic scene where Naruto loses control. So while Naruto is pinned down and he gets his anger about losing his village and his sensei and his friends all being destroyed,
right here, I'll never forget the chilling music that was playing, the raw emotion that Naruto was doing. You know what I mean? And when he's saying that, and then Pain responds, like, I'll never forget this moment ever. Out of any anime or that I've seen or heard, this hit me to the fucking core. Because not only was it relatable, and not only the realism was just insane because of like what occurs in our world and shit, but again, like with just everything surrounding this fucking moment, just capturing it all as a whole, beautiful. The chills and goosebumps I had, bro, the emotional effect it had on me, like just everything, it was just insane. Fucking sane. Just raw anger, raw confusion, despair, all of it, man. Just insane. And then when you see Pain respond, when he says my village, my friends, how but my family, all this stuff, and then like says everything that happened, and literally at that point you're like, damn, well, You know what I mean? Like, at that point, you're extremely conflicted. You're like, I can't really fucking blame the guy. You know what I mean? Like, the Hidden Leaf fucked with him first and made him go through hell. You know what I mean? He's just getting revenge, basically. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, again, it's crazy. And it's crazy. And it's so conflicting because after everything Pain has done, right? And then with Jiraiya and everyone, like, just, it's insane, dude. It's insane philosophy, morality. Just insane, narratively, beautifully written fight, and just even the action is just hands down incredible.
He just tells him in short, hey, join the club. This is one of the few times in the series where we see the ultra loudmouth Naruto at an utter loss for words. And after Hinata bravely tries to rescue him, we see Naruto essentially hit his breaking point. Prior to this, we'd only seen the terror that came from Naruto being in the four-tail state. But this time, Naruto just goes straight into the six tails right from the jump, and it warns us as readers that this time it isn't Naruto just snapping and losing control. Naruto is in danger of being too far gone, to the point where Naruto might not be able to be saved. And the way that Masashi Kishimoto uses Yamato's narration in an expert fashion to form a ticking clock, it makes the battle in the manga have you on the edge of your seat the entire time, because the whole time in the manga, we have no idea whether or not Hinata is dead or alive. All we know is that Naruto's pissed off and he's pumping out some huge displays of power that we've not seen yet. And you got Yamato freaking out as the number of tails that are burning into his palm, they're increasing. And you got Yamato desperately running to the village, trying to stop Naruto, knowing he won't get there in time. Even when Nagato traps him in the Chibaku Tensei, you never got the feeling that the fight was over. And it's here that Masashi Kishimoto gives some of his absolute best artwork in the entire manga. Having the seal break open and have Naruto's seal ooze out this black goose, and have Naruto's eyes and his face just shaded in, all while you have the center of the eyes glowing, while Yamato is serving as this ticking clock. And we see that humanoid form of the Nine Tails begin to emerge. At this point, your heart's beating so fast and you're holding your breath, you have no idea what's about to happen, because at this point, you know we've reached a turning point. Naruto started this fight in utter rage, but he was at least keeping a grasp on his emotions. But now he's so far gone, and before he can fully give in, we get the reveal of Minato popping up out of nowhere to try and stop Naruto. After the father and son talk, with Minato warning Naruto that Tobi was the one pulling the strings behind Pain, Minato rebuilds the seal, and the Naruto that we see go on to defeat Pain has come back full circle to how he started the fight. He's still pissed off, but he's got that calm and cool head as he finishes his fight with Pain, with that gorgeous double page spread where Naruto's shadow clones just send him flying into Pain in order to finish off the Deva path.
Listen, a lot of people hate the way that fight looks. Hot take, kinda loved it. Yes, would I love for them to go back and animate that fight in the way that it probably deserved to be animated? Absolutely. Is it the culmination of the greatest arc in Naruto's history and therefore probably deserved all the money the animation studio could throw at it? Once again, absolutely. But a part of me just loves the crazy faces and the big blocks just getting thrown. Something about how lazily it's animated to me confirms the speed at which they're moving. And
I love it.
in a way, it feels as though it was almost on purpose.
Rule number one, guys. Rule number one: never pause Naruto, because if you do, you're gonna be laughing a lot. Like, I give you guys a challenge to like go watch Naruto again at some point when you have the time, and just pause like over and over. Like, pause as many times as you possibly can throughout all the episodes. It'll take you a while. It's gonna take you a bit. But I guarantee you're going to have a shit ton of fucking hilarious goddamn photos, bro. Hilarious shit.
Like, there's no way your fight gets that goofy without you doing it on purpose. So, while yes, is that fight arguably animated wrong? Probably. Does it still hold a special place in my heart because of how goofy it looks? Absolutely. But if we're being real, if that fight was animated the way that our number one spot fight was animated, then it would arguably be even better. Because coming in at number one, we have Naruto versus Sasuke part 2-ish, part final. It's the Valley of the End fight. I mean, of course, what other fight would it be other than the Valley of the End fight? If the Gaara fight is accumulation of the Konoha.
You know what I'm very surprised about, guys? That they didn't do Rock Lee and Gaara. Like, don't get me wrong, like, Sasuke vs. Naruto in the end, that has to be, that's also part of top 10 as well. It has to be, no matter what. It was just insane of a good battle. But I'm very surprised Rock Lee versus Gaara was not said, or even Guy with the 8th gate. Like, very surprised on that.
crush
Shit, even Minato and Obito, very surprised on that. Like,
arc, and the fight against Zabuza is the accumulation of the Land of Waves arc, and this fight is the accumulation of the entire show. Naruto has been chasing after Sasuke for 750 episodes. And finally, over 600 episodes after their first fight, Naruto gets to fight Sasuke again. And this fight has...
the only time you'll be seeing motherfucking Sasuke using goddamn Rinnegan abilities. In Boruto, that shit is non-existent.
everything. It has Sasuke capturing 8.5 of the tailed beasts in Chibuka Tensei to superpower himself, making the strongest version of his Susanoo we've ever seen. It has Sasuke using his strongest ever offensive attack, Indra's Arrow, which Naruto is only able to deflect with his ultra big ball Rasen Shuriken Sage of 6 paths something or another. It has Naruto making shadow clones of his full transformation Kurama mode, shoving them into each other to make a 3-headed, 9-armed Kurama that makes a tailed beast Rasen Shuriken on one hand and a Sage of 6 paths Rasen Shuriken on the other. It has Kurama clones taking
It was a Raisen Shuriken Biju Bomb and a Raisen Shuriken just normally, right? Like, that's what that motherfucker did.
electricity arrows through the mouth with offensive output so powerful that it destroys the Valley of the End. But more than anything, and let's be real, this is the more iconic part of the fight, it has Naruto versus Sasuke in one of the most gripping hand-to-hand sequences in anime ever. Naruto and Sasuke maxing out their taijutsu prowess to battle each other in one of the bloodiest and rawest battle in Naruto. And it has incredibly iconic moments like Sasuke receiving the uppercut from hell, Sasuke getting behind Naruto and hitting him with a Chidori and skipping him across the water. Naruto and Sasuke...
that famous moment where when Naruto did uppercut him and he's in the rock, anime only, right? And he just gets up and he's like, over... oh no, I'll do Japanese. Isn't it like, nandete? Like, something like, I forgot how he said, but he's just fucking pissed. Like, he's losing his shit. In English, you say it over and over and over again. And then he just says, like, you know, and however he says it in Japanese, like, he screams it, but obviously when he's saying in English, he's like, just let me cut you down already. You know what I mean? That was a crazy moment. And then Naruto's response, like, no, because I'm your one and only friend. Like, tell you, man, it's peak.
Sasuke tumbling and Naruto throwing Sasuke into the rock so hard it creates a crater. And more than anything, it has the final Chidori versus Rasengan.
Oh yeah.
Naruto and Sasuke, both bloodied and battered and out of chakra, summon just enough chakra to use one final clash.
And that was a beautiful moment, guys, because if anyone paid attention closely in the anime, with Naruto, everybody's helping him with the Rasengan, right? And for Sasuke, you only see Itachi. It's really quick, but it's only Itachi's hand helping him with the Chidori with the Amaterasu on it. Like, and I love that. I fucking loved it, man. I loved it.
Force of which is so great that it not only destroys the Valley of the End, but blows off both of their dominant arms. Outside of being the most fast-paced and gorgeously animated fight in the entire show by a long stretch, this fight quite obviously meant more than any other fight in Naruto's history, as by stalemating this fight, Naruto was able to convince Sasuke to return to the Leaf, that there was no futility in Sasuke trying to kill Naruto, and that Naruto forgave Sasuke for everything that he's done, and that he was welcome back home whenever he wanted to come. This fight also saw Kakashi and Sakura rushing to the scene to fully reunite Team 7, with Sakura stopping the bleeding on both Sasuke and Naruto's arms, saving both of their lives. And as the blood from both of their blown off hands intermingled, it was once again shown that they were always brothers. But more than anything, this fight also signaled the end of the cycle of hatred, the breaking of Indra and Ashura's reincarnations battling until they died.
Yeah, there's a lot of meaning behind that fight. A lot of meaning, because for fucking eons, for centuries of just every fucking reincarnation or generation of era, like, just always the same battle of hatred, you know, the same cycle, always. So it finally ended, absolutely.
Rama and Madara had tried to achieve 100 years prior, but Madara had destroyed. And thus, this possibly signals the end of the reincarnation cycle of Indra and Ashura, with Naruto and Sasuke being the last reincarnations. And with this war between the two most powerful people on Earth coming to a close, the true era of peace was ushered in, which would forever change the scope of what the Naruto universe was about. With Sasuke returning to Konoha to act as the Shadow Hokage, keeping an eye on the Otsutsuki by traveling between dimensions, and Kakashi stepping up as Hokage during the blank period until Naruto was ready to take over the mantle, 15 years later. With the conclusion of this fight, an entire new generation of Konoha ninjas was in the making, as Naruto and Sasuke ushering in this era of peace would allow those in Konoha to settle down with their significant others, allowing for the births of people like Boruto and Sarada and Inojin and Shikadai, putting a bow on a story 750 episodes long. See, this fight is supposed to represent the battle between being able to forgive and not being forgiven. Naruto has to quite literally beat Sasuke into a stalemate to break him out of thinking he's an avenger. He has to allow Sasuke to see that he can live as more than just the avenger of his clan and his brother, that he can exist as somebody who can receive love. And it's a beautiful conclusion to a beautiful story. And that's it, guys. My top 5 favorite Naruto fights. I'm just now realizing I never stated that these were Naruto's fights, not just Naruto fights. Like fights Naruto was included in. Cody, can you put this clip in the beginning somewhere that it makes sense? Hi, this is Nick from the future. He just finished filming this video and he realized that Hi, this is Nick from the future. He just finished filming this video and he realized that he's saying Naruto's fights, and that's gonna make you think that it's just fights within the show of Naruto, but I'm talking Naruto's fights that Naruto is included in. Okay, back to past self. Have fun filming the rest of the video.
That's fucking hilarious because now my answer is finally answered. So they were ranking Naruto, all of his best fights, like top 5, not as an entire series, but Naruto himself. That's fucking hilarious, bro. That is hilarious. Okay, well that makes a lot more sense. And in all honesty, you know what I mean? Like, I'll say this. I would have to think on that one. But I'm going to be real with you guys. They did a great fucking job anyways. With the 5 choices they picked, great fucking job. You know what I mean? So, like, honestly, I can't even, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not even going to, like, say any more. This video's probably already as long as it is. But just, yeah, that was a good, that makes a lot more sense then. But anyways, either way, you guys let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Even as for the entirety of the series, right? Like, just every fight, let me know what's your top 5 or top 10, right? Top 5 or top 10 or top 3 only if you want to do that. But if you want to do top 10, do it. Let me know. I'm curious. And most importantly for this video, what is your top 3 or top 5 or top 10 fights for Naruto only? Not everything, but just for him as a character, particularly himself, right? If that makes sense. So, but yeah, that's actually fucking hilarious. Yeah, but if I had to say it like really quick, like just think off the top of my head, I'll just say 3. Obviously, Pain versus Naruto, right? Final Valley, Sasuke versus Naruto, but the Shippuden version. And actually, no, I'm sorry. This might be a crazy take, but actually, I take that back. I'll say part 1, Naruto versus Sasuke Final Valley. Yeah, that always hit different for me. Yeah, so no, I'm sorry. No, I'll take that back. And then for the third one, this is really hard. I'm not gonna lie, this is really fucking hard. Because, you know, Naruto against Haku is incredible. Naruto versus Gaara is incredible. There's just so many good fights with Naruto, man. Like KCM Naruto with what he does, KCM 2 Naruto. There's a lot of good ones. You know, but you know what? You know I'm gonna throw in there? Fuck it. I'll say Four Tails Naruto against Orochimaru. Or just Naruto versus Orochimaru. Like, that was pretty fucking crazy. I'm not saying it belongs in the top 3, but I'm just gonna switch it up and just say that was just such a good fucking fight. You know what I mean? Like, it was the first time you see Naruto going even further and beyond. You know what I mean? With the Nine Tails transformation, and instead of just the V1 or only the QBI look, you know, that was just an insane fight. The destruction, the power, everything, it's just insane. It's just 2 fucking monsters going at it, basically. You know what I mean? Like, an insane fucking fight. So I'll just say that for my 3. Is that my actual order? No, I would have to actually put thought into it for overall and everything and then go from there. And I'm going to be real with you guys. At the end of the day, if I was doing like a Naruto only fights, you know what I mean? Like, not as an entire, you know what I'm talking about, the fucking character himself. If I was doing that, I'd probably do a top 10, right? Like, I think just only doing 3 or 5, like, that's just, that hurts my soul, man. I can't do that, you know what I mean? So if anything, I'd be doing a top 10, but yeah, just incredible video. Good job. We're going to let it play out the rest. But yeah, you guys let me know what you thought.
Past self, but Now you get it, so I guess that's all that matters. Or was I? Oh, yeah, Naruto Explained. Thank you so much for coming on today, man. It was an honor having you on the page. And if you guys want to hear more of me and Naruto Explained talking best fights in Naruto, go ahead and follow Naruto Explained because, like we stated earlier, there's going to be Sasuke's top 5 favorite fights on his page. I'd love to do more collaborations with you in the future, man, as long as you're the one who talks about Sasuke. And that's it, guys. Do you agree with the list that me and Naruto Explained created? What fight would you want to see on this list? Tell me in the comments below, and while you guys are down there, please, for me, like this.
Definitely got to check out the Sasuke video on Naruto Explained channel, because this is a pretty cool concept.
Video, subscribe to the page, and hit that noti bell. Oh, Sasuke's best fights. There's the one he should have lost against Itachi, the one he should have lost against Deidara, the one he did lose against Killer B. The list goes on.
Alright, I love it, I love it, I love it. That's fucking awesome. Good job. I liked the video. But yeah, you guys let me know what you think. Make sure you like this reaction if you guys enjoyed it as well. And as always, guys, I'll catch you guys next time in the next episode. Or not episode really, but next video. And subscribe for more content. Subscribe guys to the channel. Hit that sub button. It helps me out tremendously, guys. Because unfortunately, if we're not hitting that sub button, then we're not getting anywhere. And I can't really do what I need to do for you guys. So hit that sub button if you want the channel to grow and for more things to come from this channel and more things to enjoy with me as a content creator as a whole. Because if not, then we might have to make some changes, guys, for the channel, future reference wise. But as always, guys, see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.